Everyone. A friend of mine recently in February, asked me what are my favorite STMRs and whether I would like to make a video on this. So yeah, I like the idea, honestly, but he specifically asked for STMRs in general. And I feel like if I were to talk about all STMRs, considering all things physical DPS, magical DPS, spirit DPS, which has become a thing obviously, with Melia and Shuyu recently, this video would probably go on for easily an hour, and I don't think you guys would want me talking about STMRs for over an hour. So I trimmed this down a little bit to my top 3 picks for each category, meaning weapons, chest slots, head slots, etc, etc. And I had to make some restrictions too, so we don't bloat this video up and blow it up into the hour mark. So I am only talking about permanent STMRs only, meaning no time limited STMRs. The reason is this list would be filled, half of this list easily would be filled with time limited STMRs. Kingdom of Hearts Sora, Kingdom of Hearts Riku STMR, for example, Mystina STMR, 11 STMR, you name it. Sternus Armor, for example. It's technically speaking, most of the best STMRs in the game are coming from time limited units, which I think is bad game design, but I can understand this from a business perspective from Gumi. I mean, I am an economist myself, so yeah, I get where they're coming from. They want us to pull on these time limited units because they have the best things usually. But yeah, for this video, let's not look at time limited STMRs, because if you don't have them, you are very likely not to get them for a very long time. I'm also looking for general use STMRs, which is going to be a theme you are going to see throughout this video. Killers are not a main focus, as well as resistances are not a main focus of this video. Because killers, yeah, valued memories is great, but it's only great for very certain boss types, or boss types, that is the word actually. The same applies to resistances. If you have a boss that requires you to play a resistance Tetris, well yeah, the best STMRs vary from boss to boss. And obviously, I feel like I have to mention this, no trial equipment. They are some of them are on STMR levels, but as they are free and you can pick them up as you go, let's not focus on them here. So yeah, these are my top 3 picks. Your mileage may vary. You may think another STMR is better than the ones I picked out. Yeah, I feel like STMRs are always a good investment as long as you have use for it. And the STMRs I'm gonna pick I picked are STMRs that I use frequently, I will use frequently, or I would use frequently if I had them. So yeah, and a small warning, the very first type of category, which is physical type weapons, that's more than 3. Yeah, if this were Jeopardy, we'd ask what is consistency, but alas, you will see in a second why I picked 5 for the physical type weapons and 3 for the rest of it. So let's dive right into it, right? Physical type weapons, as you can see, 5 are on this list, and yeah, the first 2 and the second 2, they are interchangeable. So both the Ultima Blade and the Ultima Weapons are weapons that I'm going to use frequently in due time. Ultima Blade, if you've seen my Chronicle Battles video, I mentioned that one in this video. And yeah, at 174 attack and 50 LB, this is a great STMR to have, 4 in total, to be quite specific. So 2 for Near Vision Noctis, 2 for Near Vision Arden, and you're good to go pretty much. Same applies to Ultima Weapon, although you only want 2 of them, because Near Vision Zidane is the only one who really wears it. So what do the upgrades do for both these weapons? Noctis weapon is capping out at 234 attack, still 50 LB damage, but it adds 50% jump damage and 350 static attack on top. But for the last two, meaning the jump damage and the static attack, these only apply to Neovision Noctis and Neovision Arden. Zidane's STMR also gets upgrades via Chronicle Battles, and this one reaches 206 attack. It keeps the 50% equipment attack with a dual wielding, also true dual wield. And for Zidane only, he gains 50% LB damage, which is huge for himself, as he specializes in LB damage. And he also gains a whopping 400 static attack, while also LB filling 3 LB crystals per turn. Absolutely crazy having two of those weapons. It is preferable. Alright, next up, and this is by the way the reason why I included both weapons. They are interchangeable, right? So I couldn't decide myself whether I wanted the Ultima Blade or the Ultima weapon on this list, so I picked them both. The same applies to the evasion weapons from Mastermind Zorn and Seeker of Freedom Van. I'm using both all the time, so yeah, I had to include both. They are interchangeable, they are perfect substitutes pretty much. So Crimson Butterfly, 165 attack, 30 evasion, enables dual wield, also 100% LB fill rate. It's just so good for evasion tanks. The same applies to Durandal, Seeker of Freedom Svan, STMR, 163 attack, 30% physical evasion, and the kicker here is the 30% passive provoke, which is huge to have. It also eases up the gearing requirement if you missed out on the Moogle Charm. Oh, by the way, the Moogle Charm returns with the Final Fantasy XV Chronicle Battles. That's your second chance at getting Moogle Charm. It's a guaranteed reward for the earlier stages, by the way. And the last super good Super Trist Master for physical type weapons is the Swordbrew of Unbreakable Faith. This is Rain and Fina, the tag units, STMR. It's just with 100% LB damage increase, it's super good. If I had it, I could get it, but I only have one STMR Moogle lying around, and I feel like I want to keep this for another unit. Most of the time for, say, SOS Lightning, I'm using Black Sparky, or if I need a Katana, I'm using Cleo Stars STMR. So while this weapon is good, yeah, I don't need it right now, but all in all, it's one of the best STMR, hands down. Variants, very good. 100% LB damage is huge for every LB finisher there is. Alright, let's check out magic type weapons or SPR type weapons. We've got the Judgment Staff. While this is more a healer staff, I feel like it should make this list just because I constantly use this for dark visions because of the Spellgar. It is the most handy weapon. Combine this with Ravenheart or any other dual spell mage stuff, and you're good to go. You have an easy time dispelling your team from perils, etc. It's just an all-around very good stuff, and it comes from Warrior of Light Lena. For our Evoker fans, we've got Terrasort Plus, 190 magic. That's one of the reasons why I included this. The magic is absurd, 190 magic. There aren't that many magic weapons with higher magic other than the Dargambantein or whatever it's called from Dark Visions. And it also provides 50% evoke damage. It's huge, but it's getting power crept by Luna Freya's weapon quite soon-ish. Well, soon-ish in another month, but yeah. And last but not least, we've got Delta Sakura, Black Roselia, at 172 magic, 50% magic, and 30% LB damage. This one actually gets power crept right next week by Milo's STMR, which is also a rod. That provides 50% LB damage, but including future STMRs, even if it's next week, would have blown up this list. And I'm looking at current STMRs right now, and Black Roselia obviously has to make this list. From my point of view, at least. Next up, head slots. Carlet's Red Hellebore. It is so good, not only for physical type DPS, but also magic type DPS at 60 attack and magic alike. It is probably one of the best, if not the best head slot for both types of damage dealers. It also provides 20% MP. I've ran into magic points troubles lately or in previous Dark Visions, so more MP is always appreciated. The 29 defense is a nice bonus, but who cares really, for Dark Visions at least. And right after that we've got Eileen's scanning goggles. While the attack at 52 seems minor, it has 4 types of killers, and while I said earlier killers are kind of not really the important point here, but 4 killers on a head slot, this had to make the list. And we've got our first tanking item. Over here as well, Midsummer Boda from Phys. This is not only a great tanking item, it is also super good for every single spirit-based magic DPS, meaning Shuryu, Melia, at 102 spirit, this is pretty good, It also provides some water resistance and HP increase, but for DPSs, this is the stuff you want. And it also provides guts, meaning she can escape death once if she is over 5% HP. For chest slots, well, these are the most obvious ones, I feel like. Glacial Battle Garb from Mystical Ice Laswell, 56 attack. It is currently, if I'm not mistaken, the highest attack chest piece we've got. 32 defense on top, while also providing some Dragon Killer and Ice resistance. Next up is Minister's Code from Wizard Shantaro, 85 magic. It is the highest we've got so far on the chest slot as well. Provides 53 defense, which I feel like is and 150 MP. It's cool, but who cares? Again, 10% MP regen. Yeah, sweet. But the real kicker here is that this code, for whatever reason by the way, also receives a buff at 50% LB increase on top of everything. But this released, I believe, last week or 2 weeks ago on the JP server, so we are looking at a 2 to 3 month time frame until we get this upgrade as well. And last but not least, we've got Arif's Cloths, which is Neo Vision Arif's STMR, 80 magic, 70 spirit, so it's a great STMR for spirit DPS as well as magic type DPS alike, but it's a little bit more favorable on magic type DPS because it also increases magic through double hand by 50%. Next up are the accessory slots. Here we've got Steward Pumps from Lively Shinju, I believe her name is, Lively Steward Shinju. 55 attack, but the real kicker here is another 50% attack, which is pretty huge, I feel like. And this made the top of my list. Right next to it are Zenaida's Warlord Leg Guards. The highest current accessory there is for attack DPS, 65 attack, but it also provides a whopping 100 true dual wield attack, equipment attack, which is just wow. So you basically can cap out most true dual wield units with this, unless you have someone such as Mazurka building her for true dual wield. You'd need 2 of these to actually cap her out, but most units, or I should say every single other true dual wield unit, gets easily capped out by this very accessory slot. And next up is Saul. His STMR is super good as well. This is the 5-star Saul, not the Neo Vision Saul, by the way. 70 magic points or magic increase. It also decreases magic points used by 30%, which is a nice plus, but Heliolite, most of us use it for the magic increase because at 70 this is pretty sweet. Next up, Materia Slots. Now this is where things got a little bit trickier for me personally. There are so many good STMR materias, but I feel like the ones that I use constantly nowadays, with true double hand units making a return, Master of Fate is actually one of the best ones, I would say. I will constantly use it at the true double hand attack, equipment attack at 200. It's just insane. The value on this is through the roof. And you always will use this in combination with Indestructible Light from SOS Lightning, which didn't make the list. I feel like, yeah, SOS Lightning STMR is super good, but this is an isolated case where you're facing true double hand units specifically. And this is why I said at the beginning, I want to keep this list as concise and short as possible, because considering all options, you can literally see right now why this list would totally blow up, while this would be a 1 hour video plus. And I had to make some, well, adjustments and to this to not have this blow up entirely. Next up, for our evocation fans, we've got Originator of the Final Summoning, Yuna Leska's STMR, 60% magic, 40% evo magic, 30% evo damage, and an additional 40% Esper bonus stats. Absolute crazy value, best STMR for evokers there is, hands down. And last but not least, we've got an actual tanking materia, one that I'm using constantly. It's Zarga Bath, STMR, Judge's Oath, 30% HP, defense and spirit, so all the things our tanks love and like and want combined in one materia, while also providing 20% all element resistance. It is a materia everyone should have, I feel like, for their tank, because it's just that good. And it's also good for DPS in Dark Visions. If you have a free Materia slot, you capped out on other stuff, you already used GF extension, why not use this? That's always a good option, especially ever since our resistance buffs, such as the gas spells, got upgraded to 80% resistances. This Judge's Oath makes capping your resistances at 100% very easy. And that's it. That's my top 3 picks, or 5 for physical type weapons. I hope you enjoyed this video. I liked making it. It made me think about which STMRs am I constantly using, what are my personal favorites, which ones are the ones I feel like you should be getting. And yeah, I'm open to suggestions for other videos. One of the videos I will make for next week, so Saturday or Sunday, I'm not quite sure when this is coming out. I need to prepare this, and this is going to take a lot of preparation, is a video on chaining. I've had someone ask me this in my previous video. It was either the Ymir video or the media banner reviews. How do I chain properly, especially with macros using FFBE chain, because FFBE chain doesn't account for the latest chaining change, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this is a video I'm currently preparing. It is going to take a little bit more time preparing this. I do have a few ideas on how to tackle this whole video, but it's going to take a few days to actually do this properly. I want to make this as approachable as possible and give you the best tips on how to chain properly. Especially the order of your units also is important. How to chain perfectly with the maximum amount of damage. That's also something I need to take into account, and it's I'm running into danger of making this a super long video again, and I really don't want to stress you guys out with 30-minute plus videos, so leave it to me. I will handle this appropriately, but it's going to take a few days to do this. It's planned for the next weekend anyway, so here's hoping I get this done in time by Sunday next week. But anyway, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this small STMR video, and yeah, have a nice weekend, rest of the weekend I should say, and we'll see each other next time. Bye bye.